In a surprising turn of events, Alabama was left out of the 2024 College Football Playoff (CFP), with the final spot in the 12-team bracket going to Southern Methodist University (SMU). This decision has sparked significant debate, especially from Alabama's former head coach Nick Saban, who raised concerns about the implications for future scheduling in college football. Minutes after the CFP selection was announced on Saturday, Saban appeared on ESPN, where he expressed his thoughts on Alabama's exclusion. While acknowledging that the CFP committee had made its decisions, he questioned whether this year's selection process might set a precedent for future teams. Specifically, Saban mused about the role of strength of schedule in playoff decisions and whether this could impact how teams schedule their non-conference opponents in the future. If we don't take strength of schedule into consideration, is there any benefit to scheduling really good teams in the future? Saban asked. He pointed out that Alabama has plans to play high-profile teams like Notre Dame, Ohio State, Wisconsin, and Florida State in upcoming seasons, all of which would make for exciting games for fans. However, Saban raised the concern that if the strength of schedule is not given enough weight, athletic directors might reconsider scheduling such tough non-conference opponents, especially when teams are already battling through the tough SEC schedule. Saban went on to discuss the broader implications of the CFP selection. While he disagreed with Alabama's exclusion, he acknowledged that the committee's decision was not entirely out of line. "The best teams are in the playoff, which I think is most important," Saban said. He also emphasized that coaches should have no complaints about the process because ultimately teams control their own destiny and have opportunities to shape their own playoff chances through their performance during the season. Alabama, which finished the regular season 9-3, was left out of the CFP despite having a strong resume in some areas. Crimson Tide missed out on the SEC championship after suffering losses to Tennessee, ranked number 9 by the CFP, Oklahoma, and Vanderbilt. This string of defeats kept them from securing a spot in the SEC title game and, consequently, a chance to improve their CFP standing. In contrast, SMU secured the final spot with an 11-2 record, despite losing narrowly to Clemson on a last-second field goal and suffering another loss to BYU, which was ranked number 17 in the CFP. The CFP Committee, led by Chair Warde Manuel, explained that strength of schedule was a critical factor in the rankings. Manuel noted that Alabama's 3 losses, while significant, came against highly ranked opponents, which helped to elevate their standing in comparison to other 2-loss teams. "We value strength of schedule, which is why Alabama with 3 losses is ranked ahead of the other 2-loss teams," Manuel said in a post-selection interview. Alabama's non-conference schedule, however, was seen as less challenging than that of SMU. While SMU played teams like Nevada, Houston Baptist, BYU, and TCU, Alabama's non-conference slate included Western Kentucky, South Florida, Wisconsin, and Mercer, all of which were relatively easy wins. The disparity in scheduling may have contributed to the committee's decision to select SMU over Alabama, despite the Crimson Tide's traditionally strong program. While the decision was met with mixed reactions, there was a general consensus among non-Alabama fans that the committee made the right choice. Even players and coaches from Clemson, who had secured a CFP spot after winning the ACC, were reported by ESPN's Molly McGrath to have cheered enthusiastically for SMU's inclusion during their watch party. This outpouring of support from SMU's opponents highlighted the growing consensus that SMU's deserving run to the playoffs was a triumph for the program. Saban's remarks raise important questions about the future of college football scheduling. As teams look ahead, particularly in the SEC, there may be a shift away from scheduling tough non-conference games if those contests are not valued in the CFP selection process. This could lead to a less competitive overall landscape, where teams focus more on maintaining a clean record against weaker opponents rather than testing themselves with high-caliber matchups. Ultimately, the decision to exclude Alabama in favor of SMU has sparked broader discussions about how the committee evaluates teams, especially in light of the changing landscape of college football scheduling and the growing importance of conference strength.